Every time I open a new ads account, I make sure that I run a few initial standard checks. The first one is that I want to make sure that my ads account is on the same exact time zone as my Google Analytics account. What this does is it makes sure that your goal conversions are happening at the same time so that you can later on say, hey, I got this many conversions in Google Ads, but in Google Analytics, I got, this many. There's something wrong with my tracking. So you just make sure you can go into your view settings, admin view on the admin level, and then view settings, and then make sure that this time zone here matches your account settings time zone. The next thing I do every time I open a new account is I make sure that my ad suggestions are by default automatically apply after 14 days. I change this to do not automatically apply. The reason for this is Google Ads is always trying to get you to spend more money, and they're trying to optimize the performance so that you do spend more money. So what they will do if you automatically apply is they will add new keywords to your campaigns as well as new ad text and ad text variations. And this doesn't always make for a positive change to your account. So I turn that off first thing. The other thing I do is in this account settings, I look at this here that says excluded content. And if I am a brand that is sensitive to any of these types of content, then I will take them away. So I'm going to, for this brand, opt out of tragedy and conflict because I think that that is the most perhaps fitting for this brand. They don't want to read about, that and then go join our program. Whereas some brands, they'll want to be off in every case. Another way to ensure that you are limiting the inventory or making sure that you're not showing up might be to pick these different inventory types. I don't mess with this for this brand. And then the other idea is here to exclude types and labels. So one thing I almost always avoid is parked domains. You can go through and at your own discretion decide what you do or don't want your ads to show up on. The last thing I do on this page is I go ahead and accept the terms of lead form ads. I've already done this, so it just says terms have been accepted, but basically this will show up as a box and you hit accept. So you're all set on the account setting page. The next thing you want to do is go up into tools and settings and then setup, linked accounts, and make sure that your Google Analytics and YouTube's accounts are linked. YouTube will allow you to run YouTube ads within your Google Ads interface, which is, as far as I know, the only way to run YouTube ads. And the Google Analytics linking, all it means is that you are linking your Google Analytics goals and events. It gives you kind of that opportunity to sync that data. And so I always make sure that I do that. And the only thing that you'll need to make both of these happen is access to your Google Analytics and YouTube accounts. I don't know if it's admin or manager, but there's something in the terms there that will tell you. And then if you're using any other things like Google Shopping ads, you want to also sync Google Merchant Center and whatever else allows you to see as much data as possible. After that, you want to start to think about measurement and conversions within your Google Ads account. If you've linked your Google Analytics and Google Ads accounts, you will see by default your Google Analytics goals are showing up in this list of conversion actions. And the reason why you will know, or where you know those are coming from, is it will say, website, Google Analytics, UA. That conversion source tells you exactly where those goals are coming from. So in this case, we have transactions showing up from our Google Analytics account. So one thing that I want to point out here is that you probably, during the course of your Google Ads experience, you are going to want to use Google Tag Manager to create a custom event. And I make sure that whenever I create a custom event in Google Ads, I also create it in Google Analytics so that I can always match those numbers and make sure that one's not double counting or something like that. But before you start on that step, you want to make sure that you have Google Tag Manager set up, and then I'm going to show you the thing that people almost always forget when they're starting their Google Ads conversions via Tag Manager. So you want to make sure you go to New. So we're setting up a brand new tag that's going to fire on all pages of our website whenever anyone goes to it. And I'm just calling this the Google Ads Conversion Linker. So what this does is it enables, because of the way that cookie tracking is set up, you need this conversion linker as well as your conversion events. So you just go to here and then Google Ads Conversion Tracking. And look, and then you make sure conversion linker, right? And we don't have multiple domains, so that's okay. And we just I just enable linking on all pages, and I leave this unchecked. If you want, you can check it, but that's for more advanced people. And then what this allows you to do is order the sequencing, but I don't worry about that either. And then this is something that will come in, this consent settings will come in to play if you are specifically running ads in the European Union where GDPR or any other laws are important. So I am not going to worry about that here. We're in the US and we're a teeny tiny business. The odds of us getting sued are low, but this is not legal advice. I do not advise that people, completely ignore that part, but I'm personally doing so at the moment. So just something for you to know that the consent settings are available for you if you want to be careful. Once you have that, you can go ahead and just discard changes on that tag, and actually your conversion linker will still show up. If you wanted to use that tag to create an event for yourself, a conversion event, you could absolutely do so, but that's just kind of the way I do it. I start a tag, I add the conversion linker, and then I delete the tag if I don't need it. Now, the other thing I want to make sure that I am enabling is the Google Ads remarketing lists. So here you just go here and then Google Ads remarketing, and I call it here Google Ads remarketing. Oops, sorry about my typing there. And then again, you're using all all of your pages here. Before you save this tag, you're going to want to make sure that you have your conversion ID. And you should also notice here that conversion linker tag that we just set up together, it will have a green check mark and it will say that it's found in your container, which means you're looking good so far. So the last thing we have to do in order to make this work is we need to go find our conversion ID in our Google Ads account. So we left off on this page here. We're going to want to go to Tools, and then we go to Shared Library, and then Audience Manager. And then you click over here into your data sources. And sorry, it's taking a minute to load. And then here we have our Google Ads tag, and you can see there's an issue because we haven't published our Google Tag Manager yet, but you can scroll on down and you see your conversion ID, and you want to grab this, and you're going to use this conversion ID whenever you set up, like, basically any new event or anything like that in Google Tag Manager. So here we just paste that Google conversion or Google Ads conversion ID there, and then I also, you can, if you want, like, set up remarketing event data, but if you have that link between Google Analytics and Google Ads, and basically I don't worry about that unless I'm doing something more advanced. And then the other thing is the data layer. If you want to pass through and start doing really fancy things, like if a customer added to cart an item that was more than $100, then you would use the data layer to pass that through. But again, we're getting advanced, so let's just hit save and we'll ignore all of that. So then you can go through and preview and make sure that all your tags are correct. Assuming we just did that, I'm going to say adding Google Ads conversion data, and I am going to check this. I just am about 99% sure it's right, and I want to keep this video brief. So that's the conversion linker and the Google Ads remarketing tag. And I would say if you do those things, you are ahead of most people who get started with Google Ads, and also it's setting you up really right. So just make sure you get those done, and good luck with your Google Ads experience. If you have any questions and want me to cover anything else in the Google Ads arena, let me know. I love learning and I love questions. So thank you for your time, and see you soon.